What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new cereal, Maruchan flavored. It's pretty good. No, I don't know. I wouldn't want to try it. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about authentication, Firebase authentication. One of the main reasons why people actually love Firebase, because it's so easy for authentication to implement it. Anyways, but before we get into that, I actually want to say, please comment down below on what you actually want me to make a tutorial or videos on next, because we are only a few videos out before this series is over with. We're probably like 4 videos out, so yeah, just want to get heads on, or let you know. If you don't choose anything, then I'll just start doing random stuff that I actually used, so like Kubernetes or Docker, because you could use it with that, or more advanced Node.js kind of stuff. But anyways, yeah, just let me know down in the comments down below. So let's get back into this. So the first thing I'm going to do, since our application, once you start it up, it goes to the dashboard. I don't want it going to the dashboard on itself. I want it going to the login page. So the first thing, we don't have a login page, so we're going to be creating a log in page component.js. What do you mean it's not valid? Are you serious right now? Did you just see that? It's telling me it's not valid. Are you kidding me? New file, login page. Why wasn't it valid? I don't know. All right. And you already know how to create a component. We're going to be creating a stateless component. So import React from React. Where is it at? I don't even see it. Are you serious? There it is. And then export const log in page. I know people are going to be like, this guy can't type. You're right, I can't type. And yes, I already said it before, I do need to get better, and I'm working on it. Okay. Return div, no, not data view, div. And right here, all we're going to add is a button with the login. That's it. And we do need to change our navigation, so our routes. So inside router.js, here's all the stuff. And I'm going to be adding a new one. Our budget snob home is going to be our dashboard, so I'm just make that dashboard. And our login is going to be, our home page is going to be our login page. It does automatically add that in. Honestly, guys, I've been experimenting with a lot of plugins for this text editor, and I do not know which one it is. Most people are going to be asking me, I'm pretty sure, what it is. Let me see. I honestly do think it's Path IntelliSense. I'm not too sure though. IntelliSense. I don't even know how to say that. But I'm pretty sure it's that one. But these are all the plugins that I have. Yeah. Anyways, let's get to it. All right. So we have that login page. So now if you control save it, go over here, we should see our login as the home. And then if we do dashboard, we should see our budget snob dashboard. Awesome. It's actually working. Cool. All right. Next, to actually make the authentication, we actually need to go to the Firebase console and actually enable what authentication we want to use. So does not go to our dev. This is just our database. We're going to go to the main project, our budget snob project, and inside authentication, I already have one. Actually, let me see. Dismiss. Okay, you should see a button right here saying, "Hey, add a or sign in method," or you could just click in the sign in method right here, and it'll tell you just enable Google. Enable it. It's disabled right now. Once you enable it, just provide the email that you want it to, project support email, your own, And then don't worry about the whitelist because we're not adding in external projects, nor are we messing around with the SDK configuration. So you don't have to mess around with any of that. Do not worry, just press save and you're done. You're actually enabled Google. Or if you want to do another provider, do with Facebook, Twitter, GitHub. It doesn't really matter. I mean, they have tons of them. Honestly, look at this. Are you serious? One thing I do want to show you before we continue is the actual docs to these authentication, so that way you know what's going on or what other methods can you use. So you go to the docs, you go to get started for web, unless you're using something else. I don't know why I opened that another tab. You go to reference, up here, reference JavaScript, since we're using it in the front end and not in the back end. Go to firebase.auth, and here are all the providers. Google Auth provider, this is the one we're using, but here's all the information that you can use or look up to figure out what's going on. So I just wanted to show you where the docs are at. So once you enable it, let's go back into our text editor and actually start using it. So I'm gonna leave that open. App.js, do I need this? Yes, I do. Where we need to actually configure is our Firebase. We need to tell Firebase, hey, we're gonna be using our a auth method. All right, so in here we do need to create a new instance of that Google Auth provider. So I'm gonna just create a const, call it Google Auth provider. We're gonna set that equal to Firebase dot, it lives inside of auth dot Google Auth, nope, Google Auth provider. And by the way, guys, we need to create a new instance, so I forgot to add in the new in front of this, so that way there's a new instance every time someone uses this auth provider. And now we do need to export this, so that way we could use it anywhere in our project. All right, control save, and that's all you have to do. That's it for this page anyways. Now I'm going to go inside of app.js, and we're going to be in here. We're going to be checking to see if we're actually being logged in and logged out. And there's actually a method on the auth function of firebase.auth, and there's a method that we could use to actually check the state of the login. So let's actually use it. So firebase dot dot, and the method we're going to be using is called on authentication or on auth state changed. And since we're using Firebase, we do need to import it. So import Firebase from Firebase/Firebase. Okay. Now this is a method that's actually going to track the state of the login. So we're actually logged in and logged out, and it actually takes in a callback. So we're going to be using that callback, obviously, with the user. And right here, this is where we're going to use user. If there is a user, then we're going to log out. Hey, I'm gonna just say logged in for right now. Logged in. Else, copy this, copy paste, logged out. Done. All right. So what we've done so far is actually configured our Firebase to tell it, hey, we're going to be using Google Auth provider, a provider with Google. And in our app, we actually have a way to checking if we're logging in or logging out. Now we actually need to get or do an action for our login to actually log in. We haven't even sent nothing to Google yet, like I said. All right. So most people might be thinking we're going to be adding the code to actually log in here. That's not true. We're actually going, well, you could do it. There is no right or wrong way. There's tons of ways you could do it, but I prefer, since we already have this actions folder and we're going to be using Redux. Remember, when we log in, we get user information back, email, name, phone, if they do provide a phone, we get all that back, and we do want to store it, you know. So we're going to be using Redux still, so that way we can store it in the Redux store. So I'm going to be using the the actions folder, and just create a new file in here called auth.js, and this is going to be anything auth related, authentication related. Okay, so since we're going to be using Firebase and the Google Auth provider here, I'm going to import those functions, or those in here. So Firebase and Google Auth provider from Firebase Firebase. Okay, now we need to create an action, a function, an action that is going to be a function. Okay, obviously, since we're doing a lot of functions nowadays. Export, you already know how to do this. This is no different. Start login. It's going to equal stateless function. Got the little. All right, in here, return. And you're just used to, I'm just added dispatch. We're not going to be using dispatch today. We are going to be using dispatch later on, but we're not today. So you don't need to add that in. I just did. And then we're going to also return in here. And this is where we're going to actually call our Google Auth provider to actually tell Google, hey, we're going to be authenticating with you. So return Firebase.auth. And first of all, before we even provide the provider of what we're going to be logging in with, we have to tell it how we're going to be logging in with. Is it going to be with credentials, or with password, or with email? So right here, we're going to do sign in, and it gives you a lot of ways to do it. Sign in with email and password, with custom token, you know. We're going to be signing in with pop-up, and I'm pretty sure you already know what this method already does. When you click on the login button, most websites nowadays give you a little pop-up to tell you what Google account you want to sign in with, and that's exactly what this is. It's going to give you that little pop-up and tell you what Google account you want to log in with. Now that we have the method, we do need to provide it with the provider of what we're going to be using. Since we're going to be using Google, we're going to be putting in their Google Auth provider. Control save. Now we're ready to actually attach this action into our login page. And since we're using an action, we do need to connect to our Redux store. Not for the sake of the state to props or for changing states. We just need to connect to the store to actually just to dispatch an action. And there's actually a way to actually do that without even having to connect it with the state. You might be confused right now. Let me actually explain. In our expenses act, or not expenses, let me go to expense list. Right here, we always did map state to props because we're going to be actually getting stuff from the state, you know, right here. We're going to get stuff from state, you know, right here. We're getting the expenses and the filters. In our login page, we don't need nothing from the state. Not really. We're just logging in and logging out. That is it. And we only need to connect to the to the Redux store to actually just to dispatch a certain action. That action being the start login. So we're going to be doing it just a bit different. Okay. Actually, I'm just going to copy this because most of this is going to be the same. All right. Over here. Paste it right there. And since we're going to be connecting, so we need to import connect, and then from Redux. Also, we're going to be importing our little action. Start login from dot actions auth. All right, down here, it's not going to be a map state to props. It's going to be map dispatch to props because we're going to just be dispatching to props. That's it. We're going to just be dispatching to the state. To the Redux. And right here, what we're going to be returning is the start login prop. And what's going to be? It's going to be a arrow function that we're going to dispatch. Oh God. Right here, dispatch. And we're going to be dispatching start login and export default. This is going to be different right here. This part, well, this part as well, but this part is going to be different. We're going to be connecting to the login page. But this part is going to be different. The first argument that connect takes is actually the state to props. When you're actually wanting to receive stuff from state or going to be messing around with state, that's the first argument. Since we're not going to be using the first argument or doing nothing with state, we could actually do that as null or undefined. The second argument is literally what we want. We just literally want to dispatch something. That is it. And that's the second argument that connect actually takes. So I'm gonna just copy this, paste it right there, and bada bing, bada boom, we are done. All we need to do is do a on click right here. So I'm gonna just destructure my prop, what's coming in, start login, and right here, button on click, we're going to do start log in. And we're actually done. So control save. And since we're using export default right here in our header, get rid of this, no, not header, route. Yeah, route right here. We could actually get rid of these braces since we're exporting default. We're not actually exporting a name, we're like exporting default. So yeah. Now control save. Now if we actually open up, my app right here, refresh it, go to the actual login page. Let me actually open up console so that we can see. You can see that we're logged out. The initial thing is that we are logged out, and it's absolutely true. We are logged out. We're not even logged in, and that is the where is it at? Where's our app.js? Right here, and that is our state change being triggered. Okay, now if we log in, our pop-up should come up. Uncut. Oh, look at that. We actually have a error message. And it's disabled. And I completely forgot that we're using our dev. So you're going to actually have to, right here. Wait. Sign in method, enable, save. Okay. Users. I'm sorry about that, guys. This error is actually from our Firebase console. I actually enabled, I think I told you to do that as well. Enable budget knob, enable both of these. The reason why is because obviously we're using this one for our development and this one's for production. So if we're not doing production right now, just do dev, because I'm pretty sure you're working on a local machine and you're working on your dev. So just do dev for right now. Anyways, once you actually fix that and actually enable it and add Google as your provider, you can log in. Click your web dev journey, and you should see right here logged in. Awesome. Now that we fixed logged in, now let's actually do a logged out. So in our header.js, our nav bar, this is where I'm going to add our logout button. You could add it wherever you want, but typically it's in the header or in the nav bar. So right here, I'm going to add a button log out, control save, and in our login page, in our auth.js, we do need to create a action for our logout, and it's pretty similar to the start login. But instead of adding a method of which to sign up, we're going to actually use a method called sign out. And that's as simple as that. It really is that simple. Control save this. Now we do need to collect everything like we did with the login page. So what I'm going to do is actually copy this, copy it, paste it right here, and we're going to be exporting it up here as well. Export and grabbing all of this as well, like that. And it's a start login. Actually do this. It's going to be start log out. Control save. And do I actually have it? Okay, yeah. Okay, start log out as well here. Oops, log out. All right, control save, control save. All we need to do right here is destructure our props to get start log out and actually use it on our button on. Click. Let's log out. Control save. All right, now login page is not defined. Am I using a lot? Oh, yeah, right here. We're using header, connecting this to header. Now control save. All right, we're still logged in. Yes, our state is still logged in. Firebase does actually, you know, keep our session alive. Let's actually log out. There's a log out button right here. Let's log out, and we're actually logged out. What do you know? Let's log back in. Going inside, web dev journey, logged in, and then logged out. Awesome. Everything is working just the way we want it. So that's actually it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you spending time watching these videos. It helps me out. If you learned something today, please hit the subscribe button and like the video. And again, comment down below on what you want me to actually teach or make a tutorial videos on, because we are a few videos out and this is going to be done. And if not, I'm just going to do a video about something else. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I really do. And I will see you in the next video. All right, bye.